Direct News TV. September 10, 2023. Morocco earthquake, new tremors felt in Marrakesh. Tremors of magnitude 4.5 have hit Marrakesh, and were felt by witnesses speaking to Al Jazeera. Morocco has declared 3 days of national mourning for the more than 2,000 killed in Friday's earthquake. Spain sends 56 rescuers to quake-hit Morocco. Spain has sent a plane with 56 rescuers and 4 search dogs to quake-hit Morocco after it received a formal request for help from Rabat, according to the Defense Ministry. An A-400 military plane took off from a base in the northeastern city of Zaragoza with the team bound for Marrakesh to help in the search and rescue of survivors of the devastating earthquake suffered in our neighboring country, the ministry said in a post on X, formerly called Twitter. The rescuers belong to Spain's Military Emergencies Unit, a body of the armed forces that was created to intervene quickly in emergency situations such as forest fires, floods and earthquakes. France ready to help Morocco when authorities deem it useful, Macron. French President Emmanuel Macron says he is ready to send help after the earthquake in Morocco if its government requests it. We have mobilized all technical and security teams to be able to intervene when the Moroccan authorities deem it useful, Macron told reporters in New Delhi at the end of a G20 summit. Pope offers prayers for Morocco quake victims. Pope Francis has offered prayers and solidarity for the victims of Morocco's earthquake. I pray for the injured, for those who have lost their lives, so many of them, and for their relatives, he said, speaking to crowds in St. Peter's Square. He also thanked rescue workers for their efforts to help the victims of a quake that has killed more than 2,000 people. We stand with the people of Morocco, he added. Remote, inaccessible areas face challenges. Remote villages in Morocco are among the places most impacted by the earthquake. The village of Ait Yahya in Teroudan province lost 1/3 of its residents due to the tremor, according to Al Jazeera's Ayman al-Zubair, who is from the village. There is an air of sorrow among the people, and they expressed fear about when aid will arrive for them, al-Zubair said. They received some aid in terms of food, but their main demand is a place to stay, he added. The area is also experiencing a shortage of water, and there are dead animals that have not been cremated yet, so there are concerns diseases could emerge, al-Zubair said. In the provincial capital Tinghar, there is only one reported death, but there are still concerns about reaching people in need due to the inaccessibility of some areas, according to journalist Ibrahim Boufadim. People are asking where is the Prime Minister in all of this, Boufadim said. Morocco residents speak of shock, horror as earthquake struck. Moroccans in quake-devastated areas have rallied for one another as they remain stranded outdoors for a second day, pleading for help. The destruction has left many residents homeless, and even those still with homes chose to sleep in the open on Saturday night, fearing aftershocks or damaged roofs and walls crumbling in on them. Mosques in Morocco to hold prayers for the dead in absentia. According to Al Jazeera's El Mokhtar El Abaloui, reporting from Marrakesh, prayers in absentia will be held in all Moroccan mosques. The Ministry of Endowments and Islamic Affairs said that under the directives of King Mohammed VI, absentia prayers will be held after the noon prayer. Absentia funeral prayers are held when the bodies of the deceased cannot be found. This kind of sad is unbelievable, Marrakesh resident Khadija Sadhu is too traumatized to return to her apartment after the earthquake. Living alone in Marrakesh, she heard screaming around her as the quake struck. She dropped everything and ran out of her building without her shoes or mobile phone. The staircase was shaking as she left, she said. At that moment, I was thinking there's no way I can make it, Sadhu told Al Jazeera. She is now staying with her mother on the outskirts of Marrakesh. They slept in the garden on Saturday night amid aftershocks. I'm traumatized. I cannot go back home, she said. Many people are still out in the streets, too fearful to return home, Sadhu said. The feeling in the street is pretty bizarre. I've seen the city happy. I've seen the city sad. But this kind of sadness is unbelievable, she said. The damage to Marrakesh's old city. The old city of Marrakesh, known as the Medina, still has buildings in it that date back to its foundation in the 11th century. The walls of this old city, punctuated by a series of impressive gates, are a distinct ochre color, as they are made from the red earth of the city's surrounding plain. This is why Old Marrakesh became known as the Red City. It became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985. France says awaiting Morocco's request for aid after quake. France stands ready to help Morocco after the earthquake and is awaiting a formal request for help, according to a Foreign Ministry spokesperson. Our embassy in Morocco is fully mobilized. An assessment of the situation is underway. At this stage Morocco has not asked for help, Anne-Claire Legendre told BFM television. One French citizen died and 8 were injured in the earthquake, a French Foreign Ministry official confirmed on Saturday. Surviving a quake that loved ones died in. A resident of Marrakesh says the worst part of the earthquake is surviving it while loved ones may have perished in its rubble and ruins. I'm terrified watching people die, Amina Radi told Al Jazeera. What freaks me out more is the possibility of us living while people we actually know and care about die, she said. Marrakesh residents talk of their pain and frustrations over the quake. Speaking to Al Jazeera, Marrakesh residents expressed their grief over the loss of loved ones and frustrations over aid and rescue efforts. I have lost 4 children and my husband. We can only lay our burdens at God's feet, a mother who did not give her name said. Fatima Sadr, a resident of Mela in Marrakesh, criticized the lack of help for people on the streets. Look where all these people are sleeping, there is no help for us, she told Al Jazeera, gesturing around. Nuruddin Lababi said, it is a painful experience. When this happens to your brother or sister, it is really painful. Fatna Beecher said that she was lucky to have been saved by her neighbors after the tremor. She said, my neighbors came and helped me when the earthquake struck. They removed the debris and saved me from the rubble. What we know about rescue efforts so far. Rescue teams are racing to find survivors trapped in the rubble of flattened villages. The Moroccan army is deploying rescue teams, Algeria has opened up its airspace for humanitarian and medical flights, and several countries including France, Israel, Italy, Spain, and the US have offered aid. Spain to send rescuers, aid to Morocco, FM. Spain will send search and rescue teams and other aid to quake-hit Morocco after it received a formal request for help from Rabat, according to Spanish Foreign Minister José Manuel Alvarez. It is a sign of Spanish solidarity and of the sense of friendship which unites the people of Spain with the people of Morocco, he said during an interview with Catalunya Radio, adding that he had received a call from his Moroccan counterpart requesting the aid in the early hours of Sunday. Construction regulations should be strengthened, expert. Badaoui Ruben, a former UNESCO official on disaster prevention, says reconstructing the damaged buildings can take years. What we need now is to take a lesson from what happened to strengthen the current buildings, he said. The expert added that construction of new buildings should be under strengthened regulations and that the authorities should work to raise awareness among people of the importance of regulations. Tremors of magnitude 4.5 felt in Marrakesh, resident. More tremors were felt in the city of Marrakesh and surrounding areas Sunday morning. Tremors that are likely aftershocks, according to Khadija Sadhu, a resident of the city. We felt the ground moving, Sadhu told Al Jazeera. No damage, but it's highly noticeable, she added. Her mother, who lives on the outskirts of the city, also felt them, Sadhu said. The tremors were of a magnitude of 4.5, according to the earthquake app, which monitors seismic activity and sends alerts to smartphone users. People terrified by aftershocks remain outdoors in Marrakesh, Al Jazeera correspondent. Reporting from Marrakesh, Al Jazeera's Jonah Hull says a central square in the old city is full of people who slept outdoors Saturday night. In some cases, they have been told by the police not to return to their homes for fear of the structural integrity of some of the buildings, he said on Sunday morning. Many others were simply terrified by the possibility of aftershocks and chose to remain outdoors, which they may do again in the evenings to come, Hull said. Hull said many people are angry over not receiving formal assistance from the government, and that volunteers are trying to provide supplies for people staying in the square. Aftershocks remain below magnitude of 3, official. Hani Lawson, the head of the Seismic Monitoring and Warning Department in Morocco, says that aftershocks continue in the affected region, without surpassing the magnitude of 3. He said these shocks do not pose any danger and are mostly not felt by residents, adding, the danger drops through time. It is a positive indication. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.